Hi, and welcome to Ivy English. I'm Angela.
And I'm Wesley.
Today is the 9th of April. We're on page 26 of the magazine, and the article today is about butter coffee. I'll have a coffee with butter and oil.
好，所以这个地方呢，我们的标题，中文标题是翻转防弹咖啡的迷思。好，那英文标题 I'll have a coffee 啊，就是我就来一杯咖啡吧。那 with butter and oil 啊，上面呢要有油，要有奶油。
And it's really interesting. I feel like the butter coffee era is drawing to a close. It's getting harder and harder to find it in coffee shops, but I think the reason is because the cleanup after making a butter coffee is ridiculous. You have to put the butter and the coffee in a blender and blend it all up together, which is fine for the customer, but afterwards your blender is just covered with oil, and it takes a while to clean that out. And I think it's way more of a pain than making a latte.
所以这个奶油咖啡呢，现在感觉起来好像越来越少见了。那 Angela 老师说，可能有一个原因是因为这个泡好这个咖啡之后的清理还蛮麻烦的啊，因为他要把这个咖啡跟奶油把它搅拌。那搅拌完之后呢，这客人喝起来当然是没什么差别，然后就是有这个味道，但是这个咖啡店的人就那个容器很难清理，因为那容器就变得非常的油啊，就比较麻烦。所以现在好像越来越多的人觉得这太麻烦了，不如就直接喝 latte 就好了。
Yeah, and also it was never that popular to begin with. Like maybe 1 in 20 coffee shops would have it.
而且这个奶油咖啡原本就不是那么的这个常见啊，不是那么多人爱喝。也许这个10间咖啡店里面可能有1间会有奶油咖啡。
So let's anyways read what is butter coffee, because if you haven't experienced, you're like, what are you talking about? So let's find out. Butter coffee, also sometimes referred to as bulletproof coffee, is almost exactly what it sounds like. Take a cup of black coffee and drop a pat of butter into it. Though the name doesn't indicate this, you also need to add a dash of coconut oil. Upon hearing about butter coffee, generally people fall into one of two camps. Either you are disgusted at the notion and vow never to try it, or you are more laid back and think, sure, why not? If you are still puzzled about why this drink exists, here's a bit of backstory. In 2009, entrepreneur Dave Asprey launched and trademarked bulletproof coffee, which required special coffee beans, unsalted butter, and a medium-chain triglyceride liquid. He got the idea during his travels in Tibet, where yak butter tea is common. He marketed and sold the concept as a low-carb, high-fat breakfast alternative that would help people lose weight and be more energized. Despite all of Asprey's claims, there are not many benefits to butter coffee, especially if anyone is using the drink as a meal replacement. While cutting out carbohydrates may be good for people with type 2 diabetes, a low-carb diet is usually only recommended for a short period of time. And though the fat from the butter may keep you feeling full for a while, there are a number of downsides to adding a couple of tablespoons to your morning coffee. The amount of saturated fat, which can lead to an increase in cholesterol in butter coffee, is higher than most recommended daily amounts. Additionally, doctors point out that a breakfast of butter and coffee does not contain nutrients that are essential to a healthy diet. Okay, so we'll talk about it more thoroughly in the rest of the article, but there's a book that, if you're interested in this issue of whether high-fat diets or low-fat diets are better for you, you could look at this book, which is called The Big Fat Surprise, which is a great pun, because either it means that it's a very big surprise or it's a very big surprise about fat, and which is the latter, actually.
Yeah, 那有一本书叫做 The Big Fat F-A-T 哈 The Big Fat Surprise 那这是个 pun， 因为这个地方讲的 Big Fat Surprise 就是原来的意思就是这个很大的一个让你很惊讶的事情，但这个里面有一个 fat 这个字呢也很有意思，因为这本书讲的就是大家对于这个 fat 对于脂肪的一些可能是错误的观念那这本书里面就告诉你哪些地方是其实错误的观念。
So let's first talk about butter coffee, because that's what our article is about. Butter coffee is sometimes referred to as bulletproof coffee, which is because of this Dave Asprey guy that we talked about in the second paragraph. He marketed it originally as bulletproof coffee. And butter coffee is almost exactly what it sounds like. It's butter in coffee.
好，所以这个奶油咖啡呢，有的时候也被 referred to，就是 which is sometimes referred to, be referred to 就是指称或者指代或者形容。所以奶油咖啡有的时候我们也称它为这个防弹咖啡bulletproof coffee。那它几乎就是跟名字听起来是一样的，就是它有奶油有咖啡It's almost exactly what it sounds like.
And so our author believes that a bulletproof coffee or a butter coffee is just dropping butter into coffee. That's what it says in the second sentence. She says, take a cup of black coffee and drop a pat of butter into it. A pat is a small square of butter. This is not actually true. You're not just dropping butter into it and not just adding coconut oil. You're putting it into a blender and blending it up so it has a little bit of a feeling like a latte. It's not just oily coffee. You can just drop butter into it, and I've done that. I think it tastes nice, but not everybody is me.
好，所以这个让他讲到说，你怎么做呢？你就拿一杯这个黑咖啡来take a cup of black coffee， 然后呢 drop 就丢。A pat of butter 就是一块奶油一小块奶油丢到这个咖啡里面去。那这个事实上真正的这个防弹咖啡呢，你必须要这个用机器搅拌，或者是用某个方法把它搅拌不是这样直接放进去就可以的所以这个大家了解一下。
And though the name doesn't indicate this, it's not called butter and coconut coffee. You also need to add a dash of coconut oil to do what the original recipe was. Actually, a friend of mine just puts coconut oil in her coffee, and honestly, that's really amazing. If you have nice coconut oil, it brings out a really香味道。Sorry.
OK， 所以这地方讲到说，虽然这个名字 doesn't indicate this，indicate 就是 point out或者 show this。虽然说这个奶油咖啡的名字里面没有告诉你这一点，但是呢，你还除了这个奶油跟咖啡之外，你还要加 a dash of。就是 a small amount of 的意思这个 dash 在这里就是 a small amount of something added 所以这个常常煮菜的时候你可以说 add a dash of vinegar 就加一点醋的意思。那在这里就是加一点的什么呢 coconut oil 就是椰子油那事实上有的人也直接把椰子油加到咖啡里面去，那这个味道有的人喜欢有的人不喜欢。
Now, upon hearing about butter coffee, usually when people hear about this for the first time, they fall into one of two camps. This is a fancier way to say that they have two kinds of opinions.
那 upon hearing 就是一听到关于这个奶油咖啡的事情呢，一般来讲 generally 人们会怎么样 fall into one of two camps 就是会落入两派之一也就是人们会分为两派。那大家可以把这个句型这个学起来就是 people generally people fall into one of two camps 就是你要么就很喜欢要么就很不喜欢的意思。
So either you are disgusted at the notion, you're disgusted at the very thought and vow never to try it. You say, I'm never going to try that. Or you are more laid back and think, sure, why not? And I actually fell into both camps. I was like, ooh, that's disgusting. I wonder what that would taste like.
好，所以呢这个地方这个 two camps 接下来他告诉你这个 camps 是阵营所以他现在告诉两边的阵营一边的阵营是说怎么样 either 你是 you are disgusted at the notion那 to be disgusted at 就对于某件事情觉得很恶心很反胃 notion 是一种想法，所以要么你就对这个想法觉得好恶心咖啡跟奶油放在一起，而且你会 vow never to try it vow never to do something 就是发誓永远不会做什么事情，所以你要么就听到这个 notion 这 idea 之后你就好恶心你发誓我永远不要去尝试什么奶油咖啡，这是一个阵营 or 这是另外一个阵营好，这个所以 either or 接下来另外一个阵营是怎么样 you are more laid back 就是 relaxed easy going 你就觉得这个没什么大不了的，然后你也许就想说 sure 好啊当然呢 why not 为什么不试一试呢好，所以大概这两个阵营，那这个当然你也可能两个阵营都有，就是觉得好恶心那接下来说那也试一试也没什么关系。
And if you're still puzzled about why this drink exists, because I sure was when I first heard about it, I was like, why would you do that? Anyways, here's a bit of backstory. Backstory is explanation, and we usually say a bit of backstory. Here's a little bit of explanation.
这个 backstory 就是背景故事啊，其实就是一些 explanation 一些说明啊。那英文里面常常听到这个 collocation 就是a bit of backstory 啊，就告诉你我跟你讲一点这个背景，我跟你解释一下的意思啊。所以他说，如果你仍然are puzzled about puzzle 是 confuse 啊，通常是 usually because something is difficult to understand 这叫 puzzle 好，所以不是说别人把你搞混了，而是通常你就觉得这个不容易懂，这个时候这种叫做 puzzle。所以你如果仍然还觉得说有点搞不太清楚，到底这个 this drink 就是这种奶油咖啡这种饮料为什么会 exist， 为什么它会存在呢？你如果还是觉得很想不通的话呢，那来我给你讲一点背景故事。
In 2009, entrepreneur Dave Asprey. If someone's an entrepreneur, it means they're trying to start up a new kind of business. And so this dude launched and trademarked Bulletproof Coffee. He actually had a website where everything was bulletproof. He was selling a high-fat, low-carb diet, and he was offering you the tools. And by tools, I mean products. So he's like, here are some things to help you, which you can buy from me and I can make money off of. Which is typical for, when someone's trying to start a new idea up, they're like, here, let me help you by selling you the things that you need. And at the same time, I'm now making money. It's a common business practice.
Yeah, 所以大家要记得啊，这是典型的商业行为啊。他想要卖你什么东西，那他当然会想办法这个宣传啊，做广告，告诉你这东西很棒啊。那就算这东西你不认识，他会告诉你说，you actually need it. It's just that you didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, but in this case, I actually agree with that. A high fat, low carb diet is the most healthy thing, and that's what he was selling. But you can't sell something that someone can make themselves.
Yeah.
So he has to sell you products. And so he required special coffee beans and unsalted butter. And then here's something that's very hard to understand, a medium chain triglyceride liquid. Basically, it's an oil that's liquid, and basically it's just coconut oil. But I don't know why it has to be a medium chain triglyceride liquid. There's some science about this, which I don't know if I believe in.
OK， 好，所以这个地方呢，我们看到2009年的时候呢，有一个实业家哈，那通常这entrepreneur 通常是他有想要推出一个新产品，或者是要试一个新 idea 的一种企业家，好，叫 Dave Asprey， 他怎么样 launched 就是推出一个新产品，然后呢 trademarked 就是他把这个产品的注册商标啊，那这个他推出的或者是他推出而且注册商标的这个产品叫做 Bulletproof Coffee 啊，就这个防弹咖啡 ，which 就是指这咖啡 required 它需要怎么样 special 特别的这个咖啡豆，然后呢还有 unsalted butter 无盐奶油，然后呢要有一个 medium chain 就是中链哈，中间的中链子的链哈，中链的。那下面这个是呢triglyceride 这个是三酸甘油酯啊。那其实这个地方这个中链三酸甘油酯指的大概就是这个椰子油。
It's actually not all椰子油. It's not all coconut oil.
Okay.
It's been you have to look for MCT coconut oil, which conveniently Dave Asprey was selling you. Now, here's the thing, though, is I've actually drunk coffee made with MCT coconut oil, and I find that I get a stomachache afterwards, and I have indigestion for several days. So the reason I don't believe in the science of this is I personally don't digest MCT oil well. So, for me, it doesn't work. Maybe for other people it does, but I don't know. I have a personally bad experience with it. Every single time I have this MCT oil, my stomach stops working for a few days. So
yeah, 所以这里其实指的是一种特别的椰子油，是 MCT 哈。那这个椰子油，那这个 Angela 是说她自己的经验是，她喝了这个之后，她会消化不良哈，所以这个每个人对这个反应是不一样的。
I mean, I have regular coconut oil and it's fine.
那个 Angela 是说一般的椰子油它没有问题哈，可是喝这种 MCT 啊，就是 MCT 就是这个 medium 嘛，那个 chain 啊，那个 T 就是三酸甘油酯，所以这种中链三酸甘油酯的这种椰子油呢，其实有的人像 Angela 是喝了就会不舒服。
Now, the reason he thought of this whole bulletproof coffee to begin with is he was traveling in Tibet, where yak butter tea is common. And friends of mine who've traveled in Tibet fall into two camps. They're like, yak butter tea is amazing, or yak butter tea is super gross. So I've never found a neutral person about yak butter tea. I have never tried it myself, but I want to.
那 he got the idea, 就是他有这个想法，是 during his travels in Tibet， 他在西藏旅游的时候，他有了这个想法。Where 就是指在西藏呢 ，yak 就是这个犁牛啊。那犁牛呢，这个butter tea 就是酥油茶啊，所以犁牛酥油茶在西藏呢 is common 很常见啊。那这个酥油茶呢，也是 Angela 说，这个要喝的人呢，要么就是很喜欢，要么就是很讨厌啊。那这个好像还没有看到说有的人觉得还可以，就是在中间，要么就极度喜欢，要么就极度讨厌。
Yeah. So he thought about yak butter tea and decided to do this bulletproof coffee thing. And so he marketed and sold the concept as a low-carb, high-fat breakfast alternative that would help people lose weight and be more energized. So he was saying, have this butter coffee instead of breakfast, which I 100% do not agree with. That's a bad idea in my opinion. To help people lose weight and be more energized. Of course, coffee makes you more energized. And of course, this is not proven and is not supported by the established food nutritional industry. However, in my personal experience, eating more fat actually helps you lose weight. So yes, eating butter coffee will help you lose weight. But I don't recommend having it instead of breakfast because I've done that. I tried it. I was way too hungry. You got to have protein. You can't just have fat.
Yeah.
But you know what I like to have it for is actually milk contains sugar. So if you have a latte, there's sugar that you're drinking in your latte. And especially, of course, if you add sugar to it. But even a sugar-free latte has sugar in it. And if I want to avoid having sugar for breakfast, but I also want a coffee, I hate black coffee. So butter coffee is a really nice alternative for me. Or coconut oil coffee.
好，所以呢，这个地方我们讲到说这个他 marketed 啊，他这个行销，他怎么行销呢？他就是行销他的这个咖啡，然后卖这个 concept， 他把这个概念呢，把它推上市场，而且去销售。啊，以什么样的方法来销售呢 ？As a low carb 啊，就是低碳水化合物啊。那这个 carb 在这里就是下面那段会看到的哈 ，carbohydrates 啊，就是碳水化合物啊。所以低碳水化合物，然后呢 ，high fat 就是高脂肪的 breakfast alternative 就是早餐的另类选择啊。所以它的这个行销方法，还有它贩卖的方法，是告诉你说啊，这是低碳水化合物。高脂的早餐的另类选择，那这个选择可以帮人们减肥啊 ，lose weight， 然后呢，让你 be more energized 啊，让你更有活力啊。不过刚刚 Angela 老师讲说，他自己试的结果是不行啊，这样肚子会饿，所以因为你还是需要蛋白质的，好，所以但是这个有的时候你这样喝一喝也是这个不错，因为它可以补充一些体力。好，那所以像 Angela 老师他说呢，这个有的人会喜欢喝 latte， 但 latte 它里面其实有糖啊，就算你不加糖，那牛奶也有糖的，所以你如果要避免早餐这个吃有糖的话呢，那其实这个像这种防弹咖啡或者是加了椰子油的咖啡，其实是个不错的选择。
Now, despite all of Asprey's claims, there are not many benefits to butter coffee. It's basically no different than drinking a latte except for that little bit of sugar. And there's not a lot of benefit to using the drink as a meal replacement. In fact, I find that it's actually the opposite of a benefit. So I don't know if Asprey's claims for bulletproof coffee are legitimate.
好，所以这个 Angela 老师他个人是对于这个Asprey 他宣称的这个事实，他是有一点怀疑的哈。那我们来看看这个句子，他说，尽管这个 Asprey 他有这个很多的 claims， 他所谓 claim 在这里就是 这里这个 all of Asprey's claim， 就是他声称可以这样可以那样那么多的好处，尽管是这样子，但是呢 there are not many benefits to， 就是某个东西没有太多的益处。各位注意，那介系词是用 to 啊 ，there are not many benefits to 这个 butter coffee 这个奶油咖啡啊，尤其是如果你用这个 drink 来当做一个meal replacement， 就是取代正餐或者取代早餐，你把它拿来当早餐取代早餐的话，其实没有那么多好处。
But here's the thing. I don't agree that bulletproof coffee is going to be all that beneficial. However, I do believe that a high-fat, low-carb diet is beneficial. And so the rest of our paragraph here talks about how, this next sentence says, cutting out carbohydrates may be good for people with type 2 diabetes. And that's true. She also says a low-carb diet is usually only recommended for a short period of time. This is also true. This is true that it's only recommended for a short period of time, but I believe that the official statement on high-fat, low-carb diets is wrong. Our official food nutritional industry wisdom is that high-carb, low-fat, low-protein diets are the best way to maintain health. And here's the thing. In the book that I mentioned earlier, The Big Fat Surprise, she looks into all of these claims. Every time somebody claimed, it's better for you to eat lots of carbs and very little fat or protein, she went and found that they don't actually have any studies that they based on it. They basically pulled this idea out of their brains and based on very poor and badly done research. And so she goes in and it's worth reading this book because she just goes through every single study that ever tried to push the fact that we should be having lots of carbs and very little fat and finds out that there's no support for people being healthier. But when you do the opposite, high fat, low carb, there's lots of support for being healthier.
好，所以刚刚 Angela 老师讲那本书《The Big Fat Surprise》里面有讲到说，因为那本书他去谈这个讨论了很多相关的研究。好，那一般人会认为说高碳水化合物低脂的食物对你是比较健康是有利的，但这本书里面就其实告诉我们说，没有足够的证据显示真的是这样子。好，反而是这个低碳水化合物、高脂肪的这个饮食呢，其实对健康是比较有益的啊。那我们再回来看看这个句子，这个句子他说cut out 就是 exclude 啊，所以我们把这个carbohydrates 就碳水化合物把它排除掉，就是我们不包括这样的一个这个碳水化合物啊。那这样的一件事情呢，可能是对于有第二型糖尿病的人来讲是好的啊。就第二型糖尿病的人呢，他其实应该要少吃碳水化合物啊。然后另外一方面呢，一个低碳水化合物这样的一个饮食呢叫做 a low carb diet， 那通常是怎么样？这个recommended for 就是建议推荐，所以一般来讲，低碳水化合物的饮食大家是推荐但是只能适合短时间，就你不能长期的吃这个低碳水化合物的东西那这个地方这个句子讲的都是基本上都是对的所以这个你完全不吃这个碳水化合物，那对于你的对于第二型糖尿病的人来讲是好的，但是通常来讲，低碳水化合物的饮食只是适合短时间的吃。
And though the fat from the butter may keep you feeling full for a while, there are a number of downsides to adding a couple of tablespoons to your morning coffee. I don't agree with this sentence at all because the fat from the butter does not keep you full. It doesn't work. And second of all, I don't think there are downsides to having oil in your coffee.
好，所以呢 Angela 老师他对跟这句话的这个说法呢他有点不同的意见不过我们来看看这句话，他说虽然呢 the fat from the butter 就这个奶油里面的这个脂肪呢可能可以 keep you feeling full for a while， 它可能会让你有饱足感，叫做 feel full， 就是让你有饱足感，所以这个奶油里面的脂肪可能会让你有一段时间有饱足感，叫做 keep you feeling full for a while。虽然是这样子，但是呢，有 a number of 有一些 downsides， 就是负面的缺点to adding a couple of tablespoons to your morning coffee。那这个地方各位发现到 a number of downsides 一样后面是 to a number of downsides to 后面是 adding。那我们这一段的第一句也是 there are not many benefits to butter coffee， 所以这两个 to 用法是一样的，大家可以一起学习所以这个如果说你加几匙的奶油 a couple of tablespoons to your morning coffee， 你的早上喝的咖啡加了几匙这个奶油的话呢，会有一些缺点的不过 Angela 老师说他这个根据他所知从这书里面得到的，这个其实是有另外一种看法，就是其实高脂肪对你来讲是好的。
So the next sentence says, the amount of saturated fat in butter coffee is higher than most recommended daily amounts. So saturated fat is supposed to lead to an increase in cholesterol. So the actual science behind that is much more complicated than saturated fat equals cholesterol, because it turns out that like 3/4 of the cholesterol that's in you is good to have. And saturated fat increasing this cholesterol is good for you. And this is recent science, like last 15, 20 years science that's been happening. And so it hasn't really leaked out to the rest of the world very thoroughly. But in fact, cholesterol is not the issue. You can have as many eggs as you want. Saturated fat is also not really the issue, even though official recommendations still say that you should only have a very small amount of it in your diet. And again, that book sort of proves why that's also not true. Anyways, additionally, doctors point out that a breakfast of butter and coffee does not contain nutrients that are essential to a healthy diet. And I agree with this. You really shouldn't be having just a bulletproof coffee for breakfast.
好，所以呢 ，the amount of 就是这个saturated fat 的饱和脂肪的量呢，那这个饱和脂肪呢 can lead to 可能会导致an increase 增加，在哪里增加呢？胆固醇的增加，所以饱和脂肪可能会导致胆固醇增加。好，那但是这个在这个 butter coffee 在这个奶油咖啡里面的饱和脂肪的量比一般的每天建议量叫做 most recommended daily amounts 就是大部分每天建议的量还要高，所以它的饱和脂肪是比一般建议量还要高的。Additionally 此外医生们也指出呢，你如果早餐是喝这个奶油咖啡的话，它并没有包含 nutrients 就是营养素，那这些营养素是 are essential to 就是对什么是必要的，对于一个健康饮食是必要的。换句话说，你早餐光喝这样的这个防弹咖啡呢，其实是在营养方面是不够的。
So that's it for butter coffee. So we've given you a lot of food for thought. We also have some questions here for you. Number one is, what does the author mean by two camps in the first paragraph?
作者在第一段使用的 two camps 是什么意思呢？
The answer is C, the opposing views people have about butter coffee.
答案是 C， 人们对于奶油咖啡持有的相反意见。
And number two is, when did Dave Asprey get the inspiration for bulletproof coffee?
他是在哪里得到这个防弹咖啡的灵感呢？
The answer is D, while he was vacationing in Asia.
答案是 D， 他在亚洲旅游的时候。
And number three, which of the following is mentioned as a supposed benefit of butter coffee?
底下哪一个被提到是奶油咖啡的好处，据称的好处？
The answer is C, it will make people feel more energetic.
它会让人们感到更有活力。答案是 C。
And number four, how do doctors feel about butter coffee according to the passage?
根据本文，医生对于奶油咖啡有什么感想呢？
The answer is A, the drink is not healthy for people.
答案是 A， 这种饮品对人们来讲是不健康的。
Okay, so that's it for butter coffee, and we'll see you next time for more Ivy English. Until then, bye-bye.